right. Okay, let's start standing. And we'll dive in. All right, so just standing nice and tall when you're ready. You can have the feet hip width apart or a little closer together. And then we're just going to stand nice and tall and just try and get into the breath a little. All right, so when you're ready, just letting the shoulders relax down the back. You can close the eyes a little if you want to. And then just scanning down through the body, just checking in, see how each part of the body's feeling today. Starting with the feet maybe spreading the toes. Maybe pulling up through the kneecaps and getting the thighs a little stronger. Maybe pressing the pelvis forward slightly, engaging the glutes. And maybe feeling a little core engagement as well. And starting to take those deeper breaths. And feeling that movement into the chest. Feeling the chest rise and fall. And just feeling there. Inhales getting a little deeper. And the exhales getting a little longer. Shoulders softening with the exhale. And maybe feel like you're trying to get a little bit taller with the inhale. So just reaching through the crown of the head. Okay, just focusing back in on the breath. Just feeling the breath start to build a little. Just start to feel some heat building from within. And just open the eyes when you're ready. All right, let's try and stretch it out with the breath. So nice big inhale, reaching hands all the way up towards the ceiling. Taking the gaze up as well, maybe fingers touch together. And nice big exhale, just working the hands all the way out to the side. Soften the knees and just let the head drop towards the floor as well. Just keep the knees nice and soft, lean slightly forwards. And then nice and slowly, just coming all the way back up. Maybe reaching the hands up as well, tucking the chin, and then just lifting the gaze up at the last minute. Lovely. Exhale all the way back to standing. Lovely. We'll get a nice side stretch, so right arm up and over. Just taking it down and over the top of the head. Trying to reach the right hip out if you can. So you're trying to get this nice stretch all the way down the side of the body. Lovely, all done. Coming all the way back to center. And switching over nice and slowly to the other side. Left arm up and over, and again, just that nice side stretch. Reaching the left hip out as well. Lovely. And coming all the way back to center with the next one. All right, let's dive into our sun salutation. So we're going to try and do 2A today. And we'll do 2B as well. So feet at the top of the mat when you're ready. Nice big inhale, reaching the hands all the way up towards the ceiling. Push the pelvis forwards and see if you can lift the chest, take the hands nice and wide. Exhale, reach and fold towards the floor, drop the head, soften the knees for the first one, and let the head drop down. Inhale, keep leaning forwards and then lift the chest, lift the heart, look forwards. Lovely. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back to plank. Nice and strong in the arms, the shoulders, and then shift the shoulders forwards and lowering towards the floor. You can always use the knees for the first one. Lower the chest down, feet nice and wide, shoulders down the back, heart forwards. Lovely. Exhale, release. Tuck the toes, use the knees, maybe press into the hands, and send the feet, send the hips up and back for your downward facing dog. Lovely. 5 breaths here, so check back in with the breath. Make sure it's nice and strong, nice and steady. And then just think about making some tiny little adjustments in your down dog. Spreading the fingers nice and wide. Shoulders working away from the ears. And just trying to broaden across the upper back. Maybe soften the knees and just try and find length in the spine. Maybe even down the sides of the body as well, working the hips away. Well done. 3 more breaths. 3, 4, keep pressing the shoulders towards the ceiling, and 5. Lovely, looking forward, step the feet towards the hands. Go back into that nice halfway lift, leaning slightly forward, lift the chest, lift the head, and exhale, folding down again, soften the knees if you need to, leaning slightly forwards. And inhale, reaching the hands all the way up, open out, lift the chest, shoulders down, and exhale all the way back to standing. Lovely, one more, nice big inhale, reaching hands all the way up, open the chest, lift the gaze, and exhale, folding forwards. Maybe stronger legs this time. Shift the weight slightly forwards into the front of the feet, pull up through the kneecaps, strong thighs. Inhale, lift up forwards, and exhale, plant the hands, feet back to plank. Well done, shift the shoulders forwards, elbows in as you lower towards the floor. Feet nice and wide, shoulders down the back, gaze forwards, looking forward, heart forwards. Lovely, exhale, release, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Well done, so taking those hips up and back, and lengthen the spine first. Lovely, one. And then think about trying to spiral the upper arms out, so external rotation in the upper arms. Trying to work the shoulders towards the floor, or the outer shoulders towards the floor. And then press the upper back towards the ceiling. So you've got this push-pull, this resistance going on. Straighten the arms if you can, press into the hands, the fingers. And then maybe starting to fire up the legs. Pull up through the kneecaps, strong in the thighs. Press the heels back, calves back, hamstrings back. Well done. 3, 4, and 5. Good work. Looking forward, so you get a little jump forwards or step forwards. Nice halfway lift at the top, leaning slightly forwards. And exhale, folding down. Drop the head. Inhale, coming all the way back up, reaching out, press the thighs forwards. Back and exhale, all the way back. Good work. All right, we're going into our B now. So when you're ready, bend the knees, sink nice and low into chair pose. Take the arms up nice and wide. Take the hands a little wider, and that'll just allow you to open the chest a little bit more. Exhale, fall towards the floor, drop the head, then lift the hips up a little higher. So don't worry if the legs don't straighten straight away, but just get that deeper hamstring stretch. Lovely. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, hands down, feet back to plank. Shifting forwards with the shoulders, elbows in. Feet nice and wide, pressing into the tops of the feet, fire up the legs, and lift the chest, heart forward, shoulders down. And exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Lovely, take a breath here. And then just turn your left heel in slightly towards the center line and step your right foot forwards for warrior one. So right foot forwards, hips nice and square. So pull your right hip back, left hip forwards, and then take the arms up nice and high. Push the heart forwards, chest forwards, strong in the legs. Really press into that back heel. Lovely, exhale, release the hands, feet back to plank. Well done, nice and strong in that plank, pressing into the upper back, lower towards the floor. Lovely, inhale, strong legs, lift the chest, heart lifts. And exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Lovely, again, just turn your left heel in slightly towards the center line. Right heel in, your left foot forwards. And then try and really press back into that back heel so it's nice and strong, straight leg. Square the hips, square the chest, and then reaching the hands all the way up when you're ready. Try and take the hands back behind the shoulders. Keep the shoulders pulling down and the heart forwards. Take a nice big inhale here. And exhale, hands towards the front. Feet back to plank. Shoulders forwards, half press up. And then feet nice and strong, legs strong, heart forwards, upward facing dog. Good, exhale, release, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Well done. If you need a little bit more of a breather, feel free to come down into tabletop position or even into child's pose and just fully rest. Get the breath back, nice and strong, nice and steady. Just check in with your energy levels, see where you're at today. Well done. 1, 2, strong in the arms, the legs. 3, try and engage the core, belly in. 4, taking the hips back and up. And 5, lovely, look forwards, maybe a little jump, look forwards, hop the feet forwards or step the feet forwards. Halfway lift, lean forwards. And exhale, folding down. Inhale, reaching the hands all the way back up. Pressing the thighs back, lift, push the pelvis forwards and exhale all the way back. Keep standing. Oh, I forgot my chair pose again. Never mind, we'll get it on the next one. When you're ready, bend the knees, sinking low. All right, lifting up, shoulders down the back. Exhale, reach and fold towards the floor. So you can get your hands down flat, then lift the hips up. So you get that deeper hamstring stretch, leaning slightly forwards. Lovely. Inhale, halfway lift, lift the chest. Exhale, plant the hands, feet back to plank, and then lower all the way down with that exhale. Good, feet nice and wide, fire up the legs, knees lift, heart forwards. Good, exhale, tuck the toes. Press the hips back and up, downward facing dog. Well done, left heel draws in slightly, right foot forwards for warrior one. Again, coming up to standing there, square the hips, right hip pulls back, chest forwards, reach the hands up nice and high, straight arms if you can. Keep them nice and wide, that'll help with the shoulders. Nice big inhale, looking up. And exhale, reach the hands forward. Lovely, feet back to plank. Good work, nice and strong in that plank. Press into the upper back, shift the shoulders forwards, lower towards the floor. Feet nice and wide, fire up the legs, heart forward, shoulders down. And exhale, release. Downward facing dog. Lovely, this time right heel comes in slightly, left foot steps forward, warrior one on your left side. Press back into that heel if you can. Nice and strong in the back leg, square the hips. Hands up nice and high. Take the hands further back if you can. Arms can go wider. Press the heart forwards. Inhale, lift the chest looking up. And exhale, going down. Well done everyone, nearly there. Shifting forwards. Nice and strong in the shoulders, the arms, elbows in. And then inhale for your upward facing dog. Really send that heart forwards as you open the chest more. Exhale, release, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Well done everyone, 5 breaths. You need a little bit more of a rest, then drop to child's pose. You'll still be able to stretch out the spine, but just allow you to slow the breath down, bring it back. And then if you're doing your down dog, think about using the hands, the feet, strong arms, strong legs, nice and straight if you can. Pressing the heels back, calves back, hamstrings back. And in slightly, like you're trying to hollow out the pelvis. And then 3, 4, and 5. Lovely, looking forwards, stack or jump the feet towards the front. Nice halfway lift at the top. Again, just slightly leaning forwards. Exhale, folding down, drop the head. Let's see if we can get our chair pose in this time. So bend the knees, sink nice and low. Press into the heels and then take the hands all the way up. Lift the chest, hands nice and wide. And exhale all the way back. Yay! Well done everyone. All right, we're gonna go for a nice forward fold today. So if you take your feet hip width apart, just soften the knees and start to lower the hands towards the floor. Okay, so bend the knees as much as you need to. Then see if you can take hold of your toes, so 2 fingers around the big toes, or you can grab hold of the back of the legs, so grab the calves. When you're ready, nice big inhale, lift, look forwards, and really try and lengthen through the back, through the spine. Show arms nice and straight maybe as well, legs might still be bent. And then just see if you can start to straighten the legs a little bit more, so you can feel that stretch down the back of the legs, maybe up towards the buttocks or towards the back of the knee. Well done. And then exhale, so the next exhale, just starting to fold down. As you do, you might be able to keep that strength in the legs, and you might be able to shift your weight slightly forwards. So a little harder if you've got the toes, but you can always take the hands towards the floor if that feels better. But the idea of grabbing the back of the legs or the toes is that we can use that to pull ourselves down a little further with the exhale. Elbows out to the side maybe. But keep trying to shift the weight slightly forwards. Just going to allow your pelvis to tilt and take the hips straight over the ankles rather than the hips being behind the ankles. Well done. Maybe you can pull up through the kneecaps, strengthen the thighs. Maybe you can pull the crown of the head towards the floor as well. Find a little more length. And then if you're really flexible, make sure you're pulling your belly in. If you feel less flexible, just relax the belly and see if that helps. Well done. One more breath. Lovely. Inhale, lift, look forwards. I'm going to try another stretch here. So this time, lift your right foot and then take your right hand underneath your right foot. And you want the palm facing upwards, but fingers facing towards your heel. And then do the same with your left. So you might have to bend your knees quite a lot for this one. Lean a little more forwards to the top of the wrist, so a little more into the wrist. And then start to try to straighten the legs. So a deeper hamstring stretch. Relax the shoulders, the head, the neck. Well done. And then see if you can work towards straightening the legs. Well done. 2, nice deep breaths. 3, scrub the fingers, scrub the toes. 4. And 5. Lovely. Inhale, lift the head. Exhale, slowly release one hand at a time from under the foot. And then taking the hands to the waist. Inhale, coming all the way back up to standing. And then feet back together at the top. Well done. All right, let's go into our triangle pose. So nice, we step all the way out to the right foot towards the back of the mat. Lovely. Taking the right arm out nice and wide. So really reach it forward as far as you can. Keep reaching as much as you can and then lower that hand towards the shin, the ankle, maybe the toe. And then just start to tuck under with the tailbone, like you're trying to press your pelvis forwards. And then work the left shoulder back. Maybe reach the top hand up to go further or keep it on the lower back. Well done. We're doing 5 breaths here. So strong, straight legs. Press down into the outside edge of that back foot a little more and feel that stretch down the left side of the hip. Well done, looking good. 2, strong, straight legs. 3. 4, working into the outside edge of that back foot. And 5, lovely, well done. Lower the top hand, look at the front foot, and then push into the knee, coming all the way back up. Well done, we're going to pivot around to do the left side, so left foot forwards, and then again, reach forward as far as you can with your left hand, lowering down towards the shin, the ankle, or the toe. And then try to square up. So press the pelvis forward, trying to get the outside of your right hip to face towards the ceiling. So you get that extra stretch down the right side of the belly, down the side of the hip, pressing to the outside edge of the back foot. And then start to lift the chest and draw that right shoulder back. Hand towards the lower back, we'll take it up. And done. 2. Strong in the legs, keep pressing the pelvis forwards. 3, should feel like you're getting that deeper stretch. Well done. 4. And 5. Lovely. Push into the knee, coming all the way back up. Arms out nice and wide. Release the hands down. And then we're going to turn that left foot in as well. So feet are nice and parallel, feet are nice and wide as well. And then just soften the knees, and then you're going to start to take the hands towards the floor. So soft knees, fingers towards the floor, and then we'll try to go a little bit further with our fold here. So lower the head a little, and then just see if you can start to straighten the legs. So nice and slowly work to straighten the legs. And if you can, lean a little more forwards into the front of the feet. So a little more towards the toes, less into the heels. Again, just tilting the pelvis. And then exhale, see if you can go a little bit lower. Keep the legs strong. And as we try and improve our flexibility, just notice if the strength starts to go as well. So try to keep the strength as you go further with the flexibility. Maybe notice where you feel it as well. So you might even feel it all the way up towards your buttocks. You might feel it a little lower towards the back of the knees. Or you might feel it right in the center of the hamstrings. So just checking in, see where you feel it. Well done. Maybe going a little bit lower. Good. 3. Pressing down into the outside edges of the feet. 4. Keep the belly pulling in. And 5. Lovely. Inhale, lift, look forwards. Exhale, hands to the waist. And then inhale, straight legs so you can come all the way back up. Good work, well done. Hopefully feeling that. We're going to do one more to get into the chest and the shoulders as well. So reach the hands all the way out. Nice big inhale, press the chest forwards. Exhale, clasp the fingers behind you. Then with your next inhale, squeeze the elbows towards each other and squeeze the shoulder blades as well. Lovely. Exhale, start to take your hands higher, and as you go higher with the hands, start to fold forwards as well. You're going to let the hands drop forwards, the shoulders naturally roll forwards. And then just to go a little further, again, see if you can shift the weight slightly forwards into the front of the feet. So it's much harder to do that in this pose. But strong legs, fire up the thighs, and lift them more forward into the front of the feet. Well done. Drop the head, relax the neck. Well done. 3, 4. Again, notice where you feel it in the hamstrings. And 5. Well done. Nice and slowly, just start to roll back up. Strong legs if you can, and release the hands at the top. Good work, well done. All right, take a nice step forward, just shake it out. Okay, we're going to try to get into the chest a little bit more. So for this next one, you're going to try to get your shoulder blades to come together. You might be able to work the hands towards the wrists, or you might be able to grab your elbows, or you might be able to work your hands towards the spine, but take them up nice and high. So little fingers might touch, you might stay here, or eventually you might be able to get your hands to touch together. Have a little go where you're at. And then take a nice big step all the way towards the back of the mat, right foot towards the back. Left toes facing the same direction as well. And then just try to draw your left hip forwards and your right hip back, so you're squaring your hips. Take a nice big inhale, lift the chest, maybe squeeze the palms together, and exhale, folding forwards over that right leg. So a little more of a challenge. Try to find length in the spine. Keep the belly pulling in. And then just to make sure that we try and lengthen down the inside of the right foot, try to press into the base of the big toe on your right foot and see if you can lift the other toes off the floor. And you should feel that length down the inside of the ankle, maybe a little higher as well. Nice and strong. Keep pulling the right hip back, pressing into the base of that big toe on the right leg. Well done. Nearly there. You can drop the head, but notice how it's a little more challenging to maybe keep the hands in position. Keep the elbows lifted to help. Well done. 3, 4, and 5. Well done. Push into the front knees and down the front knee, coming all the way back up. Well done. And pivot all the way around to do the left side. So keep the hands where they are. You might drop down slightly. Left foot is forward, right toes are forward as well. Take a nice big inhale, lift the chest, take the hands a little higher, squeeze the palms maybe, push the chest forwards, and exhale, folding over that left leg this time. Again, draw your left hip back. And then if you can, try to press into the base of the big toe on that left foot, so it lengthening down the inside of the leg, inside of the ankle of the foot. Maybe feel the other toes lift slightly as you press more into the base of that big toe. Well done. Nice steady breath again. That lifting the elbows. Good. 3, 4, and 5. Good work, well done. Push into the front knee, release the hands at the top, and then take a nice step forward. Well done. You can always shake it out. I might feel that one in the wrist. Woo. All right, and then we'll have a little go at doing some balancing poses. So we'll do our tree pose first, and then we'll do our hand to toe. So shift the weight into, just have the weight nice and even in the feet to start with. And if you can, just pick up all the toes. So you're lifting the arches of the feet, and then spread the toes. And so you get your little toe down first and then the other toes. So try and spread the toes. If If you need to do fingers as well, do fingers. And then shift the weight into the left foot. We're going to take the right foot to the side of the calf. You go a bit higher and go above the knee, so tree pose a little bit higher. And then try to squeeze the buttocks and squeeze the outer hips towards each other as well. So you get this little bit of an internal lift. You take hands to heart center. We can take them a little higher. Well done. So try and keep that balance. Well done. Sometimes the arms out helps with the balance to start with. And then over time, we bring it all here, so into the core. And use that stabilization in the core to keep our balance. Well done. Maybe pressing that right knee back slightly. Keep squeezing the glutes. Well done. One more breath. Excellent, well done. Release nice and slowly. Pull that right knee forwards and then release, and we'll switch over to do the other side. So again, maybe see if you can spread the toes, place them down, and then shift the weight into the right leg, nice and strong, and then take your left foot either below the knee or go above the knee. Just make sure it's not on the knee, because you're actually pushing your foot into the side of the leg, so make sure it's not on the knee. Left knee draws back sometimes, or a little bit more if you can. And at the same time, press your pelvis forward, squeeze your glutes, hands to heart center or out to the side. Good, well done, looking good. Good balance on this side. Shoulders relax down, chest lifts slightly. Good, and then again, if you can, just feel those outer hips squeeze in towards each other if you can. So feel that little inner lift. Well done, 3. Good, 4. Send that left knee back slightly. And 5. Good work, well done. Release, bring the knee forwards, shake it out. Excellent. Okay, we're going to go for a little bit of a hip opener now. So if you have your feet sort of hip width apart, just bend your left knee slightly and take your right ankle across the top. So right ankle just goes above the knee. Flex the foot so it stays in position, and then either just sink down a little lower, or you're going to try to take the hands forward and go towards the floor. And it's quite an intense hip stretch, this one, but keep the foot flexed so you feel it a little bit more. And if you're a little nervous about going towards the floor, because it can be quite a long way down, you can actually lean your butt against the wall and then go from there. You've just got another point of contact to help you go a little bit lower. And then just move away from the wall. Drop the head, flex that right foot still. Maybe start to straighten the left leg if you feel comfortable. Well done. Good. 3, 4, and 5. Well done. Soften the left knee, so really bend the knee, help you to come all the way up. See if you can come up and then release the leg. It's always the challenge to come out of it as well as going into it. Shift the weight into the right leg, take that left foot across the top this time. Again, flex the foot so big toes go towards the knee. Soften the right knee a little, sinking down. Maybe stay here, nice low squat. Or you're going to go a little bit further towards the floor. Well done. And you can send your left knee a little more towards the floor if you're not feeling this one, just to feel that a little bit more. And you should feel it right into the left buttock, so quite deep into those hip muscles. Nice deep breaths. Maybe drop the head. Maybe straighten the right leg. But if you lose that hip engagement or that nice deep stretch, just stay where you are. Good. Last breath. Good work, well done. Nice and slowly, just coming all the way back up. Take it easy, coming up with a balance. Good, well done. Always a challenge, and then release the leg at the top. Well done, everyone. All right, let's come to the top of the mat. Let's work our way towards the floor. So top of the mat when you're ready. And then nice deep breath. Inhale, reaching the hands all the way up. Exhale, reach and fall towards the floor, top the head. And inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, feet back to plank. And then shift the shoulders forwards, lowering towards the floor. Feet nice and wide, pressing into the tops of the feet. Lift the chest, heart forwards. Good, exhale, release, tuck the toes. And pressing the hips back and up for your downward facing dog. Get a nice stretch out, especially down the sides of the body and sides of the ribs. Well done, everyone. And then come in, just slowly start to take your feet through towards your hands. So just nice and slowly walk the feet forwards. And then if you can, try and get your feet together and then just squat down into a nice low squat. So another little balancing pose here to try. Keep the fingers down on the floor, but ideally you want to try and keep your legs together, feet together. And then you're just going to try to balance here. So a little challenge is that in that we try to send the knees slightly forward. So you might be able to get the hands on top of the thighs, or you say hands to heart center. If it's a bit much, just keep your fingers down. Keep the tailbone tucked as well. Well done. We're trying to do 5. Well done. 2, 3. So challenges the balance in your toes. Well done. 4. And 5. Well done. Take the hands forward or fingertips forwards. Lift the hips up and then take your feet a little wider this time. And if you can, just have your toes turned out. So feet are at a 45-degree angle. Feet are nice and wide, almost as wide as your mat. And then bend the knees and just walk the hands in a little closer towards the feet. So this is can be quite a deep hip opener. And then lower the head down. So it's going to feel like a forward fold. Don't worry if the legs don't straighten, but you can work towards it. Maybe lower the hands a little bit more. So sometimes it's harder when you actually bend the knees and try to take the head lower. You really feel that into those hips. It's going to help prepare us for our next pose. Really well done. One more breath, and you take those hips up a little bit higher. Good stuff, well done. So look forwards, and then nice and slowly take your fingers forward so you can balance or use your hands a little bit more. And then slowly shift the weight onto your toes, and then you're going to try to turn the heels in slightly and basically go into a squat, but on your toes. So feet are much wider this time. That first squat we did, we had our knees together, feet together. This time we're going to be a little bit wider. And then just try to sink the heels down a little closer towards the floor. So it depends how flexible the tops of your feet are. You might be able to get the heels all the way down and then tuck under with a tailbone. It's quite a nice one to really release your lower back. Tailbone just sinks right down. But don't worry if not, just stay a little bit higher. And then again, see if you can take your elbows to the inside of your knees. Well done. And then you can start to press the elbows out. And then the hard bit here is to try and lift the chest and push the heart forward. So we naturally want to round the back in this one. Again, a little harder. So if you are onto the heels, it's much harder to lift the chest, but have a little go. Good, well done. Good. 2, nice, steady breath. 3, 4, and 5. Good work, well done. We're going to take the hands down towards the floor. Keep the knees nice and high above the elbows if you can. And then look forwards as much as you can and lean forwards. Keep the elbows bent and see if you can get a little bit of a lift. So feet lift up at the back. And we're not trying to jump the feet up or anything like that. We're just trying to lean forwards more and more, almost like a half press up. And that's where you might get those feet to just lift a little. Good, keep looking forwards. If you look down, you tend to go down straight onto the face. Keep looking forwards. Well done. Yeah, good work. So sometimes to start with, it's just a tiny little lift, and it's just the weight shifting forwards. Feet lift up and come back down. Well done, everyone. Step your feet all the way back to plank. Shoulders forwards. Half press up. Inhale, upward facing dog, heart forwards. And exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Get a nice stretch out. Well done, and then coming all the way through to seated. And onto your back for our closing sequence. All right, so we're going to try our bridge pose today. We're going to try something slightly different today. Fire up the back of the legs a little bit more. So press down into the feet, lift the hips up, squeeze the glutes, and really fire up the feet and the legs. And now, you will support your hands around the waist or use your elbows, whatever you need. Try to pull your heels towards your shoulders. So they're not necessarily going to move, but you're just going to feel the back of the legs fire up a little bit more. Get into the glutes a little bit more as well. Well done, hold it there. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Stay where you are if you can, then just take the hands up and over the top of the head. You can have the elbows bent out to the side, have one palm on top of the other. Squeeze the glutes, and again, pull the heels towards your shoulders. Well done. 1, I'm going to try and do another 5, 2, keep those feet strong, legs strong, glutes strong. 3, 4, and 5. Lovely, well done. Lowering down nice and slowly. Well done. And then just take the hands up and over the top of the head, get a nice stretch out. And then pull the knees in as well. Just pressing the lower back, the sacrum area down onto the ground. Always pull the ankles in a little. Well done, everyone. Okay, so from here we're going to have a little bit trying to work towards shoulder stand, or you can do feet up the wall or half shoulder stand. So I'll show you feet up the wall to start with. So just tuck in the tailbone. Almost want to kind of lift your sacrum and then put it back down again, and then just have the knees bent or legs straight. But you don't want to feel like you're doing any working with core or hip flexors. And then just try to stay here for about 10 breaths. If you want to go a little further, try to take the feet over the top of the head, straighten the legs so you're balancing on your elbows, and then bend your elbows, take your hands to your lower back, and some half shoulder stand. And it's nice because you're just on the elbows, you're on the back of the arms, you're using a little bit on the back of the head, but your neck is completely free, whereas full shoulder stand, you tend to get onto the shoulders much more, and you don't have as much freedom with the neck, so we have to try and keep the neck straight and the head looking up. Half shoulder stand's quite a nice one. Well done. So we can stay here, and if you want to go a little further, you can always come all the way up into shoulder stand a little bit deeper. So try to get right onto the shoulders for that one. Take the feet up nice and high. Maybe get the hands towards your mid back instead. Alright, just going to try to do that another 10 breaths. If you are doing shoulder stand or half shoulder stand, just try to get the legs really strong, really straight. Maybe spread the toes. Think about slowing the breath down a little. And then maybe feeling like you can roll your thighs in slightly as well. Just a little more of a challenge. And then so you can squeeze your outer hips towards each other. So you just feel that little inner lift. Good. One more breath. Excellent, well done. Nice and slowly, just release the hands towards the floor. You can bend the knees and then lower down towards the floor nice and slowly. Well done. I'm going to stay nice and low. Stretching the hands up and over, taking the feet all the way out and away from you. Maybe lift the chest a little as you stretch. Well done. And then we're just going to try to get a couple of twists in before we go into our well-deserved Shivasana. So make sure you've got enough room either side of you. You're going to have your arms out, cactus arms. So bend at the elbow, palms facing up, and then pull your knees in nice and close towards you. And then keep the knees together and the feet together, and just try to roll towards the right. Don't worry if the knees don't touch down. Come back up to center, and then slowly take the knees over to the left. Again, come back to center. Well done. We'll just try 2 more times each side. So take it nice and slowly. Try to keep the legs together. That's the challenge. Coming back onto your back when you're ready. Even out. And again, going over to the left when you're ready. Coming back up to center. Last one each side. Good. Over to the left when you're ready. Back to center. Right, well done. Just hug the knees, hug the hands or the arms around the legs. Maybe lift the chest as well. So you can squeeze in. And then either rock up to seated and do one last vinyasa, or you're welcome to stay where you are on your back and go into Shivasana. Well done, everybody. So just coming onto your back when you're ready for Shivasana for a little bit of relaxation. Just allowing us to switch the body off, switch the mind off, slow down the breath. Now, once you're lying on your back, think about taking your feet a little bit wider, maybe as wide as the mat. Just allowing the hips to stay open. Maybe having the palms facing upwards with the hands a little away from the body, elbows bent in towards each other. And just allowing the shoulders to relax, chest to stay open. Now maybe tucking the chin slightly, closing the eyes. And just taking an extra deep breath in when you're ready. Big sigh out. And just allow your entire body to relax, to sink down a little deeper into the earth. And with every exhale that lets go, again, just letting go of the body each time. And already each part of the body touching the floor, so feel happier and happier. Sinking deeper and deeper into the earth. So let go of the breath, let go of the body, and let go of the mind. And just want to bring some awareness back to the breath, back to the body. Maybe taking a deeper breath in, big sigh out. Now with your next inhale, maybe taking the hands up and over the top of the head. And just want a nice big stretch out. Spinning that all the way down the sides of the body, down to the toes. And maybe putting the knees in towards the chest, just having a little hugging, a little rock from side to side. And just easing out the lower back. And nice and slowly, just rolling over to the right hand side, taking a nice breath back. And then in your own time, coming all the way back up to center. Good work, well done everybody. Excellent. When you're ready, just taking your hands to heart center to finish. Namaste.